Hey, I'm back. I'm still here. I need to shut the computer off over there actually, because that's also connected up, so I'm wasting my my bandwidth. How's everybody? How is everybody after that mental storm? Dear, oh dear, oh dear. So yeah, bit of a mixed bag today. I thought I'd pop on and say hello. I've not got a massive amount of time today. I need to get off probably about 4 to go and feed the chickens and take the dogs out for a walk. So just a quick hello really, and an update, and we'll see if we can fix Mrs. Cruncher's coffee machine, because it's broke. It's been broke since December, to be fair, but it's one of them jobs I haven't got around to doing yet, so we'll have a look at that. If anyone's got one of these, it might be helpful. You just don't know. So Daniel's in. Hi Daniel. Floor flyer. Afternoon. That's Brian, I think, isn't it? In case you get delayed walking your son's dog while he's at work. John's parts went off on the post. Yeah, your top for your Robert's knob went off with the post lady today, Floor. Afternoon, Colin. Patrick B. Afternoon, Patrick. Old Blokey. Should be tidying your workbench. We all should be tidying our workbenches, but we never do we? Because as soon as you tidy it, you can't find anything. You wish you had a field just over your garden fence. I'll tell you what, yeah, it'd be a good place for the planes here in the paddock. It'd be very nice. But certainly we got no protection from the wind here whatsoever. It absolutely howls across. Afternoon, Rob Titheridge. Michael Hyde. Hi, Michael. Rob Cross. Hi, Rob. You're working. Oh, that's a shame. Stream Elements is running. He's there. I said hello to Daniel. Harb, how you doing, mate? 1 AM here. Oh, you're up crook from the 3rd jab. Oh dear, oh dear. At least you've had it, Harb. That's the main thing. Paul C. Had your field force Yagi beam and tower down. Oh, bloody hell, did it? I'll tell you what, luckily, I mean, Mrs. Cruncher said to me on Thursday, when she came home from work, that she'd heard on the news that it could be up to 100 mile an hour. And I thought, well, my Antron 99 is up on 2 scaffold poles bolted together. And I think it's wind rated for 90 mile an hour. So I thought I'm going to have to get the ladders up. So luckily, very luckily, and touch wood, I was very lucky. I managed to get my disc cone. I dropped the Antron right down to gutter height and took the disc cone and the Sony aerial off, and luckily didn't lose any aerials. I mean, I've got my VHF UHF dual band collinear on the apex of the house, but that's only on a short pole and a little stub, so I was lucky that that stayed up there really. Daniel's flooded out in Worcester. Hi Carthor. Dave Rhodes, hi Dave. David Gregory Kerr, hello to you, David. No, it's not an advertising bot, David. It's like it's a stream assistance bot, so don't worry about that one. He's not doing any harm. Afternoon, Benji. Aston's in. Hi Aston. Barry Charnley. Hi Barry. Yeah, we did survive. Yeah, we did survive. We had some issues though, to be fair. We were luckier than probably a lot of people. I got me cup of tea here today. Yeah, we were luckier than a lot, I think, because I mean, on the Friday the power went off, and it said it would be back on by 11:30 Friday evening. It went off about 10:30 in the morning on Friday when the storm sort of hit at its worst. I mean, basically because we're rural, all the power lines are overhead and they go through a load of trees. And there's like a wooded area on the way out of the village between here and the town. And all of these wires go through all these trees. And of course, all the trees started coming down. And the trees were coming down and they took the cable out all the way down through. I think even we lost even some telegraph poles as well. But there you go. Afternoon, Phil. I think you're down in Plymouth, Phil, aren't you? You lost fence and roof tiles. Well, the roof tiles here, I could hear them lifting and banging back down again. It was absolutely unreal. I couldn't believe it. Waters and Stanton must be rubbing their hands with glee. Yeah, let's hope they got a lot of stock in Oblokey. So, yeah, I don't know how you're doing down there, Aston. I think, you know, we had it pretty bad in the southwest. Oh, Bister. Right. Yeah, I think all the way up the English Channel. No, is it the English Channel? No, other side of the water. The Bristol Channel, up through there. So, southwest England, South Wales, and all the way up through to Gloucester got it pretty bad. Oh, your 2001 D's working great. Brilliant, Phil. Yeah, I remember now. So, yeah, so first we heard was obviously the electric went off, which we were expecting anyway. You know, we made sure we had candles, torches were all charged up, all that sort of thing. So we were sort of prepared for the worst. But we thought 11:30 shouldn't be an issue. You know, 10:30 to about 11:30. You know, 10:30 in the morning to 11:30 at night, not a problem. You know, it's not going to hurt anything in the fridge, anything like that. Anyway, come 10 o'clock on Friday night, there was another notification come out saying it was 11:30 Saturday night it was going to come on. So that would mean 2 whole days with no electric. So what we did was, well, what I did Saturday morning was we've got a generator in the shed, which we had when we used to run a pasty shop. We used to use it for outdoor functions. So I went and grabbed that to pull the whole shed out because it's not something you use very often. So pulled that out, got that set up and on, and luckily that got our fridge up and running. So we didn't lose any food. So yeah, we didn't lose any food. Luckily, everybody else has done though. Unless they had a generator, everybody's lost all their fridge and freezer contents. Say we were right on the borderline of having to throw it all away, and in fact, probably some of it we probably shouldn't be eating, but it's not done us any harm so far. Put it that way. Touch wood again. So yeah, I set that up Saturday morning, and I thought, we've got a generator, we can have the boiler running, we can have heating and hot water. So I hot-wired the clock, the programmer for the central heating, and we're on oil out here, we're not on gas or anything. Plugged it in, and it wouldn't work. It just kept hunting and trying to fire up and then dying, firing up and dying. And, you know, I did all sorts to try and sort it out. In the end, I gave up on it. So we had no heating and hot water. The first time we had power was Sunday when I came on George's live stream at 3 o'clock. So power came back on around about 3 o'clock on Sunday. Popped on George's stream. George called me and pulled me in. Said my byes, and within half an hour the power went off again. So we were still off until around about 11 o'clock on Sunday night. So I couldn't finish watching George's stream, and I've played it back, but I can't see any of the chat because he didn't enable the chat replay on it. So unfortunately, I missed out on that. But so power came back on Sunday. I wired the boiler back up. The boiler is not working. So having done a little bit of head scratching and thinking, it was the control box had gone, and it's got some fancy electronics in it. It's a digital control box, and it doesn't like a generator supply. So of course, plugging this generator power supply into the thing has just knackered this box. It hadn't blown it up as such. I mean, I've got the board here, we can have a look at it later, but it just absolutely killed it really, which was a shame. So on Monday, I was shopping around trying to get another control box because we still didn't have any heating or hot water on Monday. And so we've been from Friday till Monday with no heating and hot water. Luckily, we got a gas stove, so we were able to, well, it's LPG, but I installed LPG when we got here, just in case, you know how it is. Thought, you know, if we ever lose power, at least we still got gas, and we were able to heat water up to wash with and that. So that was good. So yeah, shopping around for this control box. You know, my previous career was a gas engineer, so I'm pretty au fait with boilers and how they work and all the rest of it. And I rung up. I could only find one locally, and that was over in Barnstable, about a 40-minute drive. So I rung them up, and it was 269 quid for this control box. I thought, Jesus Christ, 269 quid? So I looked it up online, and I could get one delivered for 138 quid from Scotland. So I rung this plumbing place back up again. I said, look, you know, I appreciate that, you know, you need to make your money, but I can get exactly the same part brand new from a plumbing place in Scotland. Can you do me anything on it? And, you know, told him my background, and he said, all right, leave it with me. And he rung me back, and in the end I got it for £155 it cost me. So just for plugging my boiler into the generator cost me 155 quid. If I'd spent 200 quid and got an inverter generator that's got pure sine wave output, I would have been fine. But unfortunately, it was a petrol generator, big old Honda thing, about 2.2 kilowatts it is, I think. I've looked it up. And it just literally killed the boiler dead. So anyway, came back with that. Monday lunchtime, pulled it all apart, fitted the new control box, and lo and behold, we have heating and hot water at long last. So sorry about that big story, but that's basically the gist of it. As far as damage, sadly, Mrs. Cruncher's bird table's been absolutely killed. I have got some pictures on Google. I bought Mrs. Cruncher a bird table in just after we moved here, back about probably 2015, 2016. And sadly, I really should have thought and pulled it down. I just really didn't think of it. You know, we were too worried about the house, etc. So, hang on. My photos all over the place now. Yeah, we were too worried about the photos and sorry, the photos. So that's Mrs. Cruncher's bird table. It doesn't look too bad there, does it? But there should be wooden struts in here. I've uprighted it now. This top's come completely off. The finial on the top's smashed. It's smashed here as well. So I think I can rebuild this, but it's all shaped wood. So I'm gonna have to get the router out. Is it router or router? Router, I think, isn't it? And see if I can make it look something the same. That's a fairly big job to sort that out. This is the neighbour's fence to my right. That was going to come in our garden for sure. So I mean, you can see this is really in the height of the storm because the bird table's still up there. But we got some pallets, so I propped up some pallets against it, and luckily that sort of held it together. But yeah, I won't try and play any videos. What else have we got? That's a video of the storm. That's a view from the bedroom window. You can see there the state of it. It was too dangerous to go outside, to be honest. This fence here, this one is where I've got the post buddy. Now, in behind that is the post buddy, which had broken away. And this fence was just flapping about in the breeze, broken completely down through there. I assume you can see this. I better make sure that I am on it. Yes, I am. So yeah, this fence had completely broken in half. And what had happened is where I'd screwed the screws in the bottom for the post buddy, down at the base here. Apologies, it's a blurry photo, but it's shot through a very wet window. And the actual timber had snapped off where I put the screws through. So in the afternoon, I managed to get out there when the wind died down a little bit, and ripped all these boards off, nailed and screwed it all back together. I then got in the neighbour's house over here, uprighted the post. I uprighted the post and put some much bigger screws right the way through the post. I mean, they only, I think it's something like 3-inch screws they recommend. I've put sort of 5-inch screws through there now. And my fence has held up because we've still had strong winds. But even just now, the winds were really, really strong. I think that's pretty much it there. You can see Mrs. Cruncher's bird table gone over there. Yeah. Shame, but hopefully I can get that rebuilt. See, I took my long wire pole right down. There's a big fiberglass pole there. It's about a 12-metre pole, I think. No, 9-metre pole. Sorry, it's a 9-metre push-up pole with my long wire listening antenna on it. That went down. That was my aerial blowing about in the breeze. Actually, you might be able to watch that. That's blowing about like a good. I just hope that's going to stay up there. Mental. Yeah. Anyway. There you go. That's the story. That's the story so far. Let's just catch up with the chat. You said it was pretty heavy there, was it? Areas can be set up in the unused area of the roof space and still receive signals. Yeah, you're right, David. You can. You can, but unfortunately, you can't beat an aerial up in free air outside. Much better reception. Neighbours lost their fences, Daniel. GT Jeff, how you doing, Jeff? And thanks for the messages from like Oblokey and GT Jeff emailed me, just making sure I was okay. Yeah, it's a standard thing, Daniel. If you're without power for over 48 hours, then you can. Well, it's an automatic payout that's been set by off-gen of £75. So you get a £75 payout for loss of power, and then it's £75 every 12 hours thereafter. It's automatically done. You don't need to apply, but unfortunately, it cost us a lot more than that. A lot more than that. That's halfway towards me control box, isn't it? But I mean, Mrs. Cruncher was going back and forth from the garage with cans of petrol. We must have had eight petrol cans. We had to buy another 3 or 4 petrol cans. No, we bought another 3 petrol cans to keep the generator going. And obviously the fuel to fill those up. I had 2 paraffin lamps going in the living room. We had 2 paraffin lamps going. We had radios going, and it was mostly Robert's, unfortunately. The neighbours. I went over and seen the neighbours, and they said, "Have I got a radio?" I said, "Yeah, of course I got a radio." So sorted them out with my decorating radio, which is a little Roberts RP26, I think it is. And I mean, everybody was listening to the radio because no one had any power, and so the local radio station, Radio Devon, was on. And I had a Roberts R606 MB downstairs in the living room, which is Mrs. Cruncher's kitchen radio. I had that in the living room listening to the news as it was happening. And up here I had this Sony Sports 11 radio going. So we certainly had a lot of radios hooked up. Afternoon, Mac Vision. Hi, Keith. Jennies do spike a lot. Yeah, it's one of these things. I can't see anything wrong with this. I mean, Les was saying that he thought maybe it's the switch mode power supply in it, because they don't like generators apparently. But I don't know. I think it's probably when I plugged it in, because there's no switches, there's no electric switch on the plug socket I used. Basically, I had a caravan lead plugged into the Jenny, pulled up through the pathway and stuck in through the back window. And I put a four block power strip on the end of it. So there's no switches and enough on it. We had to just do with what we had, really. So yeah, that was the crack. Just trying to see if I can find yeah, a load of photos have disappeared for some reason, or they've not up. Oh, hello. Bear with me, that's the doorbell. I'll be back. It's actually, I'm hoping it's my my soldering iron tip from Amazon. Not Amazon, for now. Cheers. Maddie had Mummy's new slippers. Sorry about that. I pushed the button on the thing. So yeah, this looks like it's my at long last soldering iron tip for my Pace soldering station. It's been on order for I think since December. Packed up in December, I believe. Oh. So fresh in from UPS. Yes, it is. And it is the right one. At long last. So it's one of my favourite tips for doing the SMD capacitors, because it's angled and it's quite thin. It's an angled chisel tip, and you can get in over the top of things with it. Very, very useful tip, and I have missed not having that. So that's a bit of good news. I did actually complain to Pace International, and they're supposed to be sending me one as well, because I couldn't get hold of one. But that one's not arrived yet, but I think that's coming from the States. Oh dear, right. Yeah, I don't know, for some reason I've lost Google Photos for some reason. Oh well. Oh well. Never mind, right. Radio Jet, hi Radio. A jet even. Radio. All the countryside to fly around in. Why has someone not built a generator around a Wren jet turbine where the output shaft drives the generator and can run on paraffin? Well, there you go. There's a challenge for you, David. See if you can get one made up, mate. I think that's probably a bit, might be a bit pricey, mind you. I don't think that's would be a normal domestic generator, would it? So I think the key is, I mean, I looked up generators in Screwfix, and I think if we'd been off for much longer, I would have probably, no, I wouldn't have. We haven't got the cash, to be fair, especially not with the blimmin', not with the other thing going. So, Hi Jax, how are you? Not seen you for a while. So yeah, what I'm trying to do today is get this thing done for Mrs. Cruncher, because she loves her coffee in the mornings, and I've been trying all sorts of different coffees for her to get her a decent coffee. But this is one of these bean to cup things where you you put the beans in the top here. So you put your coffee beans in the top. It grinds them, presses them, and sticks it out through here. And then you've got a milk frother to froth your milk up. This is a common problem with these, and this is probably my 5th one of these since I've had it. I've had, not 5th machine, but 5th repair. It's basically, it's a steam generator goes in them. So what I'll do is I'll pop it on a minute, and you can see what it's doing. So if I flick the power switch on hopefully it won't take my electrics out, because it's quite a hefty thing. Okay, so I've got power onto it, so get rid of me a minute. So if I go onto the lights here at the top, if I turn it on, so the lights, I don't know if you can see that, but the lights are flashing at the moment. 2 green lights. So what's happening is the machine is heating up, and on the top here, this is the you've got like a hot plate where you put your hot cups, and this is the hopper for the beans. So normally this starts heating up quite nicely when the machine gets up to temperature. That's basically, I think the lights, which light is it that's blowing it out? Probably that one there, I expect. Yeah, you can just about see the light flashing. So it does take a little while. It does take a little while. Then what happens is it fires into action. It purges through the brew head. It just cleans that through, and then it's the light stays solid. But the problem is these lights never stop flashing. And it's absolutely stone cold. Simon, how are you? Didn't we see the coffee maker? I did see that one. Yeah, he did some weird stuff to that one, Jed, didn't he? He modified that, which was a bit clever, but then he's a clever chap, isn't he? Well, Mr. Carlson. So as you can see, I mean, that's going to stay there forever like that. Let's turn some lights back on. That's going to stay like that forever. Let's just make sure there's nothing important on the phone. No. I've got Amazon coming at some stage with some mushroom sauce for Mrs. Cruncher to do a stir fry with. So it's just, you can see it's doing nothing. It's doing absolutely nothing. And the part that you need is this. It's a fairly hefty bit of kit. It's expensive as well. No surprise, more expense. Around about 60 quid for one of those, and it's called a steam generator. So you can see we've got the element runs through it. Let's get you in a bit closer. So yeah, the element, you can see the ends of the element there. If I hold it up, you've got water connections, and this is basically a heat exchanger, and underneath is the compressor that presses the what am I trying to say? It presses the sort of, I can't remember what they call it now, but you get a compressed piece of coffee that the water's pushed through. So this compresses it down, and then the water pushes hot water through it and out through the brew head here. Anyone seen a Juicero teardown? They were madly over-engineered. This is a mental thing, really. It's got all sorts of stuff in it. Because there's one other thing, and I can't demo it now because I mean it's still flashing. It's just not getting hot at all. So this unit has packed up, and I know that because this is, as I say, about the 5th one I've done since we had it, and I bought it about 2000 and I'm going to say 2010, but it might have been a little bit later than that. Tamper, that's right, Simon. Thanks, Keith. So yeah, this is the issue. So let me just turn that back off. Okay. You can hear the mechanism's really noisy inside. Right, let's turn itself off. Let's pop the power off. Probably got charge caps in this thing, but you know. So let's get it apart and see if we can get it fixed. So as Mrs. Cruncher, well, and me, to be fair. I do like a nice coffee in the mornings. Steve, you don't drink coffee. It's no good for you then, mate. If you're if you want to steam some milk, Steve. If you steamed milk for your cup of tea, I've got tea though. So let's get the cup of tea out of the way. I'm going to shut this down while I'm at it. Leave. Just shut the computer down. That should speed my internet up a little bit with that going. I'm going to hard water out. Not really. We do get scale in it, Steve, but not a large amount. I must take one of these apart. I mean, this one looks second-hand, to be honest. It doesn't look great. I mean, there's like a bit of something in there. I don't know what that is jammed in there. It's scratched around here. It looks sort of second-hand, really, but who knows? It's got a bit of something jammed in it, but I don't want to unscrew it because it'll all ping out everywhere, that bit. Right. Let's let me think. I've got to remember how to do this now. I've got the water container here. I've got to take that out. It's a water container. I had to put some in there because it would just keep saying it had no water. I'll take the waste tray off, and we'll take the brewing piece out. This is the bit that compresses the coffee. Then it comes out through here. Okay. Now it's going to be fun because before this packed up, Mrs. Cruncher filled up the coffee beans and I can't get them out. Let's just take that out. Now I am unplugged, aren't I? Yes. So I'm going to use an electric screwdriver if I can find it. Just for speed. Can I find it? No, because it's downstairs. Okay, we'll use a normal one then. Yeah, refillable coffee pods are a lot easier than this, but saying that, you just push a button on this once it's all up and running, and away you go. I say it's a long time since I took this apart. The problem with this, and it's Steve Blokey there mentioned mentioned scale, and there's a descale light comes on this. When you get it initially, you've got to put in what type of water area you're in, and it automatically notifies you. Let me just change cameras here a minute. There's that one there. No. I'll get it right in a minute. Webcam, there we go. Yeah, I can talk to the camera there then while I'm working. Yeah, there's a scale light comes on it, and if you don't turn the thing off and descale it there and then pretty much before you use it again, it will kill this thing dead. You've got to keep it descaled. And you know, we had the pasty shop, and we had a proper professional coffee machine in there, and that was exactly the same. Now, if I remember rightly, these side panels pull out this way. There's one off. And the other one. And no, this is tricky. This top piece has got to come off as well. Basically, the whole lot's got to come apart to get at this. Right. So, try to think. There is, I haven't got a service manual for this handy, but I think there is a service manual for it. Mr. Laser Sound, how you doing, mate? This is where we tip all the coffee beans everywhere. Let's get this back panel off. So say we've got lots of nastiness here now. Somehow I've got to find out where this is making this screeching noise and grease the mechanism. I'm not 100% sure. I'm going to have to work that out because it does need doing. So what have we got here? This has got to be the power supply and the function board. I'm not going to be sticking my fingers in here. We've got a 12-volt transformer there. Is it switch mode then, or is it a normal power supply? I'm not sure. Let me get you in. Can have a look at the board there. I mean, you've got relays there. I'm not going to be sticking my fingers too close to anything in case it is got power left in it. It's all looking a bit charred and smoky. And probably the motor brushes. So the motor is actually in the back here. You can see the motor there, and you see this quite black. So this is the mechanism in here, and I think this is where it's where it needs lubricating, because something slides up this track. I think it's this piece here. The motor drives that up this track. So I think this somehow needs lubricating, but I don't know where. Now we've got a belt in underneath there as well by the looks of it, so it's a belt driven. Anyway, we've got to get this top piece off. Let's zoom you back out. Got to get the top off. Hi Nick, how are you? Yeah, I didn't realise they were flooded until Daniel said. It's looking pretty bad up there. I could be the next Electroboom. I don't be doing no booming. I fancy any booming jacks. Right, now I think, does that have to come off that front panel? I think it does. I think I've got to take the front panel off as well. I'll take that off. I'll take the old thingy bobby there off. That's the sort of lever for turning the steam on. It's one of these things that's it's not absolutely essential, so it gets left till last, but it's long overdue now, so I thought I'd get it done. Be in Mrs. Cruncher's good books then again, won't I? There's any screws there, it just hooks in underneath that, I think. Come on, come apart, you little monster. You can see the steam generator in there, look. There he is, little monster. Ah, dear. You just modified a set so it would go boom. Why would you do that, Steve? Why on earth? There we go. Right, I'm going to pull the earth off, and you must remind me to put that ground back on after, because I've done that a few times and not put it back on. So we've still got our coffee in situ. Right. So this is the beastie that's got to come out. And again, the screws are a pain in the neck to get to on this. Just familiarising myself with it. Yeah, it's got to come off because that's all the grounds. But this is one of these things you need to do there and then, because if you forget what you've done, you're in trouble. This is not something I can just walk away and leave. So let's get myself up a bit closer to the beastie. What's that one there? There. We'll have to try a cup of coffee, won't we, at the end, if I can get it working. Got one here. Now I think I've got to get in underneath there for this one. Dwarf, how you doing, mate? Mike, Racing Demon. A lot of coffee in Brazil. How you doing, mate? Break out the crowbar, so I'm saying. Okay, so that's a longer one. It's a long old bolt holding it in. This is not a radio, in case you're wondering. I'm gonna try and remember, where's that one to? That was down there. I'll say this has had quite a few of these in the past. Okay, we're coming loose. We are coming loose. Right. Other things we need to take off. We need to undo that one. There's 2 thermal fuses in the top here. I think that one's got a clamp plate on. No, that's not got the clamp plate on. It's bare bones, the other one, isn't it? So there's a thermal fuse and a thermal sensor on there. We also need that little rubber piece off the top. It needs to go back on top of the other one, if it'll come off. Who put this on? So that's a little thermal sensor, so we need a little bit of thermal paste on the end of that one. Oops, it says dropping it on the floor. Got my little sod. Let me put that on before I forget. So that's on. Make sure it's the right unit. Okay. And rather than taking these off now, I'm just going to undo the complete piece. It's a damn sight easier than trying to get those clips out. So that's the water supply. What's that? That's our fuses to our heating element. Let me just take a picture of these. If I can find my phone. Le phone. You paid £40 for an oven thermistor. Could not find it cheaper anywhere. Yeah, this is to say, the cheapest I can get these is about 55 quid. So let me just take a picture of the wires there, just to make sure I get them on the right terminals. They sort of all go in through that channel there. So these have all got to come out the way. Mrs. Cruncher will be pleased, I'll tell you, if she gets her coffee machine back. In fact, I was so confident that we bought a load of coffee beans in Lidl's yesterday. Look, I'm that confident. Well, I didn't know I was going to do it today, actually. Right, now this is tricky. We've got to get the water pipe out from underneath, which is here. So there's a little, you can't really see there, can you, very well? There's a little clip there you've got to release to pull this out. You need to be really careful with these because it's going to leak. It's going to leak from this point. And there's a little tiny O-ring inside there that we need to pull out because it doesn't come with O-rings, this one. So there it is. There's the old one. Which is leaking water everywhere now. About right. Right, so let me get the 2 O-rings. There's 2 O-rings in there. There's one. That little one goes in. I have got a washer kit for one of these somewhere as well, but I'm not 100% sure where. So let's take those two O-rings out and we'll reuse those. To say this unit's probably about 2 years old, I would think. So they do go pretty often. Right, take it apart. We might take it apart actually off in a minute once I've got this back together. Right, so we need to put that O-ring on there. Ooh, let's put that back up in there. Push a little clippy in. If he's in. Again, this has got to be pushed in far enough, otherwise you won't get the clip in. Ow. It's typical, it's not in far enough. Let's try not to break the new element. Just give this a little poking in. I do remember why I hate these things now. Right. Why aren't you going in there? That seemed to go in a bit better. Let's try that again. Got it. Got the little monkey right. So you can pop that in over the top. Whew. Now you see why I don't take that one there off. It's a flipping nightmare. Let's pop those on a minute while I remember where they go. So we've got a new washer in here actually, so I can pinch that one out. It's got a brand new washer in there, so let's pop that one back in there. Yes, you're right, Dorf. This is an obsolete machine now. It's not supported by Delonghi anymore. You can only get the spares from third-party people that have sort of kept them over the years. Let's pop our two fuses in there. Let's get this one ready to go back on. Temperature sensor. Screw these screws back on first. We could be getting a coffee in a minute. That'd be nice. Hello, why is that one not going in then? what's in there in the way. Got it. I should have been a Delonghi engineer, shouldn't I? Don't do a Dave Jones number. What's that, David? A Dave Jones number. Now, there was two of these. Oh yeah, there we are. There's the other one. Hopefully it's not a thermal fuse gone. I didn't check them because these do go that often. Actually, I think that washer goes on the other side, doesn't it? Don't turn it on, tear it apart. Ah, right, okay. Bit awkward with a washer and a nut to get on underneath there, but lucky I got little fingers. Right, some thermal paste, get some of that stuff that Mr. Racing Devon gave me, which is, this is good stuff, Mike. It's a damn sight easier than messing about with that white stuff. Let's put a little tiny blob of that on there. Still get it all over my hands, mind you, but no, that's standard practice, isn't it? Right. It's going to go on there. Looking good so far. I can actually remember which one they went on, those two wires. Mustn't forget the earth wires. What have we got? This Discord popping away there. I think it's on my phone. They're on here. Let's turn Discord off a minute. Thanks, Mike. Thank you, Mike. Where am I? I don't know which camera I'm on now. Webcam, yeah, I should be on the webcam. Thank you, mate. Right, let's find the screw for the ground connections, which I think is that one. It's one of these things without a screw on it, without a thread, like a self-tapping machine screw. Right, that's that one. Let's make sure these are tight. Route these wires back in here. Goes underneath that one. Right, is there anything I've forgotten to do on that? That's on, all the wires are on, I've got the ground connections on. No, I think we're good to go. So let's put the top tray back on the front panel. Not forgetting the ground wire, which is on the heater tray. Is that in the right position? Get some more screws in it quick. I haven't left anything out, anyone, have I? Hope you're watching me. You know what I'm like. You know what I'm like. DE3HPG, Peter. Afternoon, how are you, mate? I'm sat back down now. Right. Now this one's only just hanging on by a thread here. Might get a little tiny washer to put on there. Looks like the plastic's breaking away there. Oh, it's just another piece has just broken off. Come on, get in the screw slot. Dear, oh dear. I'm working at a funny angle, that's what the problem is. So put that washer in just to hopefully hold that last piece of plastic in. There we go. On the fly repairs. Am I from Derbyshire? Oh no, I think Peter's from Germany. DE3 is a German call sign, isn't it? Where's that come from then? Right. Let's come around this side. More screws. Hope it was not a stupid temperature sensor. Oh, what on this? It wasn't heating up at all, Mike. So the only thing it could have possibly been was a thermal fuse. But as I say, I've changed. This is about the 5th one I've changed in this machine. A couple have been my mistake because I've left the descaling process too long. Okay, let me have a look here. What have we got? I've got a little tiny black thing there, which I don't know what that's popped out of. Let's try to see what could be the bit that's making a noise here. Let's pop that door off and take that. So this drives the brew head up through that slot there. So something's making quite a lot of noise. Oh, I see what you're saying. I got you there, Jed. Yeah, something's making quite a lot of noise. I don't know whether to put a little tiny bit of lithium grease, silicone grease, on the runner it goes up through there. I don't think it would hurt to do that. Don't want to stop pulling that out just in case it's spring loaded. Yeah, I think I will just put a little tiny bit of silicone grease up through there. So I'm just going to use some of this stuff from RS. Ow. Cool. Coffee automat. Yeah, it is. You're right there, Peter. So I'm just going to put a little tiny bit of this along the runner on the inside edge. Just up here, because it is bone dry. Whether it's supposed to be or not, I don't know. No, that's going to get into the coffee as long as I don't touch the... As long as I don't touch the plunger that I've just fitted. Can't see a blimmin' thing here. That's better. So that goes up through there. Ooh. This bench isn't really big enough for big bits of kit, really. This is quite heavy as well, because it's got a big kettle in it, basically. And that should be, I'm sure that should be lubricated as well. On the back end. It's bone dry. Not going to hurt it anyway, it's only silicone, so it's not going to hurt the plastic. If I can get a little piece on, maybe it'll pull it up through. Right, that's a little bit. Everything's collapsing again. The bench is a bit of a state, but I've been doing all sorts of repairs on this. Okay. So there's all sorts of little switches and filters and all sorts. It's quite a complex bit of kit, this. I think I've replaced this in the past as well. Yeah, that's a new one. That failed. The water pump. I mean, this might go at some stage because I suspect the brush is what's causing this carbonization in there. So yeah, that's been replaced before. And the only other things I've replaced are the spout and on the front. That assembly started leaking. Let's get the back panel back on. I've lost my screwdriver now. We're doing good. We're doing good. We're getting there. It's nearly done. I can't believe it. Side panels. I think new, this machine originally was about £350, something like that. So they're not cheap, but I think if you've got to get Delonghi in to repair it, you've got to really think it's probably not going to be cost effective. So that's why I've been repairing this on myself for the past few years. Well, I think I've had it nearly 10 years, you know. So it's done pretty good, really, hasn't it? It's done pretty well. Nearly back together. Got to put our... Replaced a few of those as well. They break for a pastime. It's only plastic. Right. Put the brewing thing in. Oh, I've got a nice puddle of coffee on the floor now. Great. Means I'm gonna have to get the Hoover up. The Hoover and my workroom don't really like each other. Let's put that in. Let's put the grounds tray and that in. Let's put that in there. Let's plug it in and see if it goes bang. Right. Let's see if that gets hot this time. Zoom you in. So our lights are blinking. Might take a little while. Shall I go and get another cup? Oh, I've got a cup here actually, haven't I? I haven't got any milk though. So I can't fully test it, but I've got a cup here. So what should happen is, once this heats up, you'll hear it whir and all sorts of noises happening, and it'll start spitting water out through here just to purge this head. and clean any waste coffee out of it. It's quite a clever bit of kit, really. Servicing an inkjet printer. Dave Rhodes, thank you, Dave. Let's come back to the front now. Let's keep it on. Ah, there we go. So here it's just going on to the next stage. Water should come out here now. Come on out this one. Yay! Right. So these lights should now... Oh, it still sounds a bit dodgy, doesn't it? There we go. The lights are solid. They're no longer blinking, so it's now ready for 1 or 2. Well, that's a single shot, that's a double shot, and that's the steam. So let me stick my cup underneath it then. I know it's had tea in it, but I'll go and get some milk in a minute, and we'll give it the whole test. We'll give it the test. So these controls, this is for the amount of water in the cup, and this is for the strength. Mrs. Cruncher's got it set as she likes. I only have a single shot, so this is grinding the beans. So it should. We have coffee coming out. She will be very happy, Mike. I'll be in the good books. I'll be in the good books for once. Yeah, it's still something inside it needs you can't smell the beans. It's decaf beans, that's why. So that's ready. So my coffee's in the cup. Nice, I think they call it a crema on top of it, don't they? So let's push the steam button now, and then this is the all-important one. I mean, I can feel that's getting warm now on top. So this now heats up the steam side of it, and we can steam some milk. So I'll go and get some milk a minute in a jug. It takes a little while to heat that up, but once the little orange light stops flashing, you're ready to go. Let's get some milk. Skimmed milk, so it doesn't froth up that brilliantly. I normally use soya milk in this, actually. Hello, Coco. Coco and Maddie come to see what's going on. Daddy's fixing the coffee machine, Maddie. Yeah. Right, that's me milk. I'll tell you, I better get myself a sugar as well, am I? I better get some sugar. I might as well have the whole works. Assuming it's working, that is. I can't see it, you guys can. It smells of coffee up here. What have you been up to? So the light's steady now, look. It's difficult doing it the wrong way round. So there's me milk. It's me sugar. Could do with a full fat coffee today. Let's turn it around a little bit so I can get at the frother. So it's definitely working. Oh, hang on. No, I didn't. I left it too long and it went back out again. Well, I knocked it with my finger. It's got to wait for the frother to come back up to temperature. Come on. Yeah, something mechanical in there. Still needs lubricating. Right, let's try that again. You wouldn't think I was a trained barista as well, would you? So, let's give that a wipe off. Give it a... There we are. Here goes then. Coffee. Got a coffee at last. Let's get the bubbles out of it. We'll do it properly. Skim milk, decaf beans, you're cancelling your order. Oh dear. How about that? Frothy coffee live. Post fix. So, cheers everybody. And my light's gone off now. Why's that light gone off? Nice. Right, let's turn them off now then. So it goes through its purging sequence again. Pat Jones, you're sticking the kettle in a tea bag. There we go. Job done. Coffee machine fixed for another couple of years. Right, that's a nice drop actually. Problem is coffee beans, if they're not used for a while, go off, and that, as I say, that's been not working since we packed up in December. So let me get this off the bench. That's another job done, another on my list. I've been trying to fix our dishwasher, but unfortunately I've not been very successful with that. I've actually had to call Indeset in, which I was a bit disappointed about, because I thought I could suss it. I've still got an idea what it was that was the issue, but I'm not confident enough to keep throwing money at it for parts. Whew. Wow, there we are. Another job done. I've got a bit of a messy bench now, mind you. How are we doing for time? 23. Ah, we still got a bit of time left. Excellent. Right, okay. I've got a pile of coffee on the floor, ground coffee. Okay, where's my boiler? Let's have a look at this board for this boiler. Look. I've taken one of the relays out of this actually. So this is the board from my oil boiler. So if anybody's any good at fixing stuff like this, then you're welcome to have a look at this. Now I only bought this. This is about 2 years old because we had a guy come in. The boiler packed up and he spent a couple hours here and couldn't get it going. So I rang up the manufacturers and they said it's probably the control box has gone. So I got a control box, and at the time I bought it from Ireland, and this is going back 2 years now. I bought it from Ireland and it was 111 quid back then, and I've just paid 155 for it 2 years later. So the prices have gone crazy. But it's basically a switch mode power supply with it's got all the logic for the burner, and it's like a modulating burner. This light's a bit dark, isn't it? Strange. So yeah, it's got all the sequences and that are all built in. There's an EEPROM on here somewhere that does all of that. Is it underneath there? It's probably the chip here, I expect. Let's get you in a bit closer and see if I've got the overhead camera. Should be working. Yeah, okay, let's get that out. So this thing here that looks like a chimney is where the ignition wires come out. So one's the ignition, one's a sensor, I believe, flame sensing. So it does all the flame sensing. I've popped one of the relays out because I don't think I've got a relay working. You can see where it went just here. If I zoom in there for you, you better see the picture of the relay. Okay, so it's a normally closed relay. So these two, the first two pins you can see there are the motor supply. There should be 2 pins connected, and when you energize it, it should switch over to the other pin. Mics. Why is it timed mic out? Oh, it's capitals. Sorry about that, Mike. It's excess capital letters. Apologies. Oops. Yeah, it's if anyone types in capitals, it automatically blocks them. I don't know why it times them out for 300 seconds. That's a bit over the top. Apologies, Mike. I'll have to alter the settings on that. I don't think it should time you out really, but it does. It loves it. It loves it. Intervals. Let's have a look. Let's. This is basically a spam filter. So timeout duration is 300 seconds. Let's go for 120 seconds, 2 minutes. It says exclude regulars though, so okay. So yeah, I've only got two things in there. One is links, so we don't get any of that spam bots links all the time. It's got banned words, and it's got this caps protection. So apologies for that, Mike. You'll be back in a minute. 300 seconds. How long is 300 seconds? 60 seconds is a minute, isn't it? Oh well. I do apologise. It's quite a good thing to have though running in the background. It does sort out a lot of bits and pieces. So let's get back to my stream. Right, okay. So Afternoon, Rolf. I think it's a switch mode because I mean, you've got this thing here, which is a big inductor. Can't see a transformer on it though, really. There's no transformer as such, so your positive and negative come in on these two pins, J12 and J13. J12 being the negative, I believe, and J13 is the positive. This little button that you can see here is just a reset button for the burner. If it fails, this is a reset. We have got we've got a 100-volt cap there. I'm not sure what this one up here is rated at. If I go to the other camera, you might be able to see better, Rob. Oh, it's 5 minutes, is it? Sorry, Mike. We haven't seen you for ages, and now we've timed you out for 5 minutes. I've changed that to 120 seconds now, so it'll be 2 minutes if anyone. It's just if you put loads of caps in for some reason. I think Mike's caught the caps lock on his keyboard, and he typed "Good job, Graham" in capitals. Unfortunately. And Rich, hey, thank you very much, Rich, for tipping. So yeah, I don't know. I thought it was a switch mode power supply. We've got an IC here. It says IC1, and I thought that was the one that does the switching. But there is no transformer on it, unless that is a tiny transformer. This Epcos thing. But no, it's not your fault, Mike. My apologies. We've got this automatic bot thing, and it just recognises if someone puts a lot of capitals in. So someone might just stick their finger on the caps, and it'll throw out loads of caps. And it just, after so many capitals, it automatically blocks it, and it times the user out. So apologies, Mike, but you're back. That's the main thing. He's back. So I've knocked that down to 120 seconds now. So if anyone does accidentally type something in capital letters, they'll just get locked out for a couple minutes, that's all. It's all new to me. I'm learning it. So this coffee is lovely, by the way. I'm going to have another go on that. I normally only have a coffee in the morning. I drink tea if I'm drinking in the afternoon. It happens, Mike, doesn't it? I mean, they consider capitals in chats as shouting, but that's back in the days when chat first came about. Really, I don't think people bother these days. But yeah, what I was wondering was about this relay, because normally you can get a relay to switch if you just use a 9-volt battery. Just put it on the contacts, and not on the contacts, on the coil, and it should switch over. Well, this one isn't switching over. So that was what what's the number on the chip near the white socket? Oh, this one down here. That one, you mean? Going to need to get some magnification for that. Let me see if I can get you in on the overhead camera. You never know, it might you can probably see a damn sight better than I can, to be fair. Overhead camera. Well, I've gone in way too close. I've gone in a bit too close. Where am I? So it's somewhere around about there. That's the one you mean, isn't it? Jed. See if we can get the light right. I think that's an EEPROM. That's a PIC chip, isn't it? Does that say PIC? I did sort of get that in the light correct just now, but there you go. It's a PIC 16F688. So my logic said that the yeah, if I sort of shade it, you can just about see it. Let's just try autofocusing that again. Yeah, if I shade it from the light, you can sort of see it. The coffee fan, yeah, I do like a coffee. That's a PIC microcontroller, yeah? I can hear the click, Mike, but it's not switching. So I think that's what they're calling the EEPROM, that contains all the burner information, how long it's supposed to fire for, and all that sort of stuff. But I think it's probably that one that's actually been killed. If I tilt it, you can see it a bit better. I think probably it's that one that's been taken out because it's not letting the burner go, the sequence go through. It's starting up, but it's just failing. It's just hunting all the time. So I think the power surge that I had has killed that. I'll know next time not to plug it into the generator, won't I? I haven't. I have. I said I haven't, but I have got a PIC reader. But, Paul, I don't know how to use it. I'll be honest. I don't know how to use it. I take it that will that do it or not? I'm not sure if that will read PIC chips or not. I bought this to do a bit of experimenting with some Commodore 64 stuff. No instructions with this whatsoever. I don't think there is. Yeah, there's no instructions, so you've basically got to download them online, I think, unless I've taken them out to read and forgot to put them back in. But I'd need an adapter to fit it in here anyway, so... Hi, yes, how are you? So, as I say, this relay, you can see you've got the motor, and this thing keeps getting in the way. And you can see it's normally closed, and when it gets power it should open up and switch across to that other contact. Hi Thomas, how are you? And Susie, you wrecked a £500 board in a pellet stove by using it on a generator. Yeah, I didn't know, to be fair, Thomas. I really didn't think about it. Rob saying, check the value of one of the big blue caps. If it's a cap dropper, it's common for the cap to drop in value. This is a pretty it's virtually new, this board though, Rob. I've only had it 2 years before I killed it. You're saying these ones here, are you? Oh, I've got to be careful. This inductor, I mean, that inductor's a pain in the neck, to be honest. To have taken that out, really. Well, this is a transformer, isn't it, for the high voltage? Generates 18 kilovolts. This one, so that's the spark electrodes, 18 kilovolts. Yeah, 210, 230. I don't know whether this is used for anything else, but it's only got 2 connections. So this is the high voltage for the sparker, isn't it? It's floating about everywhere. Yeah, they won't, David. I spoke to them last time and they're not interested. They'll only sell you the board, not the board. They'll only sell you the complete boiler control. Check the coil resistance of the relay. Okay, let's have a look at the relay. So that was going to be my next trick, was to just get a 9-volt battery out and flick it across. I did have a battery clip here earlier, but like everything, it's gone into that vortex. I think I actually tidied it up. So, resistance across the coil. .4K across the coil. Now the two contacts that should be closed are, I think, these two. That's measuring 38 ohms, which is quite high, isn't it, for a closed contact? Just measure the other one. That's open. And those two, nothing. Hang on, let me just get me probes on there a bit better. That's reading fairly high. Okay, 29 ohms. So if I just touch the two probes together, 0.23 ohms. Null that out. So the actual contacts are about 23 ohms. Does that sound about right? Hi, Simon. Has anyone come across a modified to pure sine wave build? Do you mean a generator? Because the generator that I should have picked up was, if I go to Screwfix, so let's just go to the screen a minute. So I'll just accept the cookies now for the sheer hell of it. So if I type in generator, okay, so my generator is a Honda generator 2.2, so it's pretty much the same as this one, the generator I've got. Mine's 2.2 kilowatts, I think. It's got 115 and 230. It might be more like that one, but it's quite a good one. But if you look at these inverter generators, if I click on this one, this is 200 quid. So it says here, if I can zoom in a bit. Oh, that's Mrs. Cruncher. Well, apologies about that. That's Mrs. Cruncher on her way home from work. Right, where were we? Yes, so this is probably what I would want. So it says it's got pure sine wave output, meaning it's safe for use with sensitive electronic equipment. See, I thought these inverter generators weren't as good as the as a normal generator. I thought they were really noisy, but obviously it's the other way round, is it? I'm just a little bit confused about all of that. Let me pull the chat back up. So it's a through-hole reader. Yeah, I need the adapter, Paul. I know, but that will do pick chips, will it? That programmer. Too high. Need to clean the contacts. Yeah, I think that's a bit high, Nick, isn't it? If the relay is clicking, there's no continuity on the switchboard. It probably has burnt contacts. So Simon is saying converter as inverter generators have more to go wrong using an automatic voltage regulator as opposed to capacitance regulation. I know nothing about generators. When we had the pasty shop, I bought this Pramac one. It was supposed to be, well, it was quite good, and it had a big petrol tank on it as well. Yours does what, Paul? Oh, sorry, yours reads pick chips. So David is saying no if the program protect fuse has been blown during programming. Okay, I'm not as I say, I'm a complete novice with that with that programmer. I've bought it to program some pick chips. Well, they're not pick chips. I can't remember what they're called now, but basically to make a PLL, not PLL, to make, I think it might be, no, PLA chip for the Commodore 64. So anyway, getting back to this, I mean, this would probably have run the boiler, wouldn't it? You know, it's still got, I think it was 2 kilowatts, wasn't it? Continuous power 1800, maximum power 2 kilowatts. So if we look at my my pictures, let's go to my images again. We go to my Jenny. This is the badge on my generator. So that's the model. It's a Pramac COP. I'm not sure what COP stands for, but 2.2 kilowatts, 10.6 amps. So I don't know how that compares to this one. What's the? Doesn't say anything about current on that one, does it? 240, 13 amps. Kilowatts. I know nothing about generators, but all I know is that has killed my my boiler. So whether it's that killed the boiler, or I'm thinking maybe plugging it in killed it, I'm not sure. Because, well, this is the actual wiring on the boiler itself. Where are we? Yeah, so basically that was how I had it set up. So it was set up down the bottom of the garden, and I had a caravan lead coming up. So I took these wires out and I wired the plug. That's the nighttime view from our living room during Storm Eunice, with our candles going. We had a wood burner, luckily, and had a couple paraffin stoves that Mrs. Cruncher gave me for Christmas one year. So yeah, the lead came in through the window. They could see Maddie is displaying the. So this is, I've wired this, hot wired it basically straight onto this 4-pin adapter. So I've got the lead coming off the generator straight into this 240 volts. The problem is there's no switches on here, you see. And this is a pretty rubbishy 4-way adapter. And I'm wondering whether just pushing the plug in there with this live may have caused a spike which has killed it. Whether it's that did it, or the fact that the generator's really noisy. I mean, when I actually when I probed the live and neutral coming in, it was fluctuating a lot between the different. Initially it was from about 250 to 260 volts, going back and forward. It wasn't stable at all, not even slightly stable. So Keith said, pull the throttle back a little bit. So I adjusted the little set screw on the throttle and got it back to 240 volts. There's Maddie, look, wondering what on earth's going on. Oh dear. Anyway. Yeah, it's a good brand. It was an expensive Jenny at the time, Simon. It definitely was. So we think that, I mean, these relays as well, no one's got them in stock. They're all on back order. I think far now we're July before they were going to have any stock of these. July. Now, whether any old generic relay would go in there, I don't know. Whether it's a standard footprint or not. The coefficient of performance is a ratio that describes the efficiency of a system. COP equals power output over power input. See, I thought Timothy, how you doing? Because it's a 3. Let me get you the other picture on it a minute. Because I thought because it's a Pramac 3100, it was 3.1 kilowatts. Because that was the reason we bought it, because it had to heat a pie warmer up. So this might explain it a bit better. This is the alternator on the back of the generator. So power factor. So we've got 11.7 amps. Oh, that's 230 volts, 11.7 amps. And at 115 volts, it'll run 23.4. Well, it certainly wasn't running at 230 volts. As I say, it was up near 260. But we've got S1 and S2 kVA. Again, I'm not really sure what that means. Anyone's got any ideas? But certainly it was this that killed the boiler anyway. Load up the generator, checking voltage in hertz. Yeah, everything is in short supply, jacks. I'm struggling to get anything. Capacitors and stuff like that are getting really hard to get. So as I say, being it's a 3100, I always thought it was 3.1 kilowatts output, but I don't know. Does this mean it's 3 kVA? That's kilovolt amps. I don't know how that relates to amps. I don't know. I don't know. Probably 3 kVA, but 2.7 kilowatt output, right? Okay. As I say, it was a good Jenny. It's a bit rusty, mind you. Now this is the throttle screw that Keith said to back off a bit, and backing that off brought it back down to 235, 240 volts. Yeah, well, this was the outages. Yeah, they were having a laugh there. So this is one of the updates we got from Western Power. This was on, so it went out at 10:30 on Friday the 18th of February, and it said it would be back on by 11:30. They estimated, but it was like 3 days later that was. It eventually came back on. Anyway. Well, as Keith's saying, maximum 3 running 2.7. So probably 3, but 2.7 continuous. Right, okay. I think that's probably what it means. Keith has probably got it there. It's a maximum of 3 kilowatts, but 2.7 kilowatts continuous. It's quite a powerful Jenny, really. More powerful than that that inverter one I was looking at, but maybe the inverter one would have been better for the poor old boiler. Let me just get a connector in a minute, because I've for some reason shoved it back in here. Yeah, thanks, Jed. Good luck with Jenny. Yes, it's in the kitchen at the moment because it's a bit rusty. I need to give it a service, really. But again, a service pack for it is ridiculous money. What do they want 80 quid for a service pack for a generator? Right. So I don't. There's not a lot of charge in this battery, actually. Load up a generator, 3 kilovolt amps will not give 3 kilowatt. Voltage and hertz drops off. Right, okay. Cheers, Simon. Glad you know what the hell's going on. Let's just check the voltage of this thing a minute. So say 8.5 volts. That'd be enough to switch this over. So if I just jerry rig this up a minute. So what you see in here, you've got that, you've got that in shot of you. He's got the camera down a little bit. Okay. There's usually a quick and dirty way of checking it. So if you touch it, so if I touch that, you can hear it through my microphone, hopefully. So you can hear it clicking, can't you? That's my microphone up here. So you can hear that clicking. So it is clicking, but it's not switching the contacts over, if you know what I mean. So whether that's not, I mean, it's a 24 volt relay, so I don't suppose there's enough power there to switch it over. I can hook it up to the bench supply, I suppose. So if we go to here, we can see that those two terminals are difficult to measure this. I probably should get the clip-on leads, really. So they're closed. So when I connect power, they should open and it should switch over to that one. Catch you soon, Jed. Cheers, mate. Let's get some leads. And get this hooked up a minute properly. Trying to hold it on there is nigh on impossible. So this is the normally open, normally closed is that one. That's not grab it, is it? Are you crazy old thing? I really need to get some new leads. Okay. So if I touch that terminal now, that contact should break, shouldn't it? So if I touch that, well, that's bizarre. It's gone up to 80 ohms. It hasn't broke. So 15 ohms, 13, that relay's knackered, I reckon. 11 ohms, 23. What? So let's put it on the other one, on the other terminal. Oh, if it'll grab. These little grabber leads are rubbish, aren't they? So certainly not switching over to that one. Not enough voltage to use the power supply. Okay. Let's see what it's like on the power supply then. It's just a quick and dirty test really with a battery. Let's get the power supply. Let's find me leads for the power supply. So I believe it's a 24 volt relay. Doesn't really matter which way round these go because it's a coil. So let's go with, I'll turn the current down. Let's go with, say, 15 volts to start with. Okay, well that's definitely switched there now. So if I go back to the other one, that's open. So if I let it off, $79 ohms. That's not right, is it? Well, it's in mega ohms now. If I turn auto range off, definitely not a very healthy relay, is it? Let's pop the power up, see where we are. Let's go up a bit higher then. So we're on 20 volts now. No, that's not right, is it? Let's check the other connection. See, that one's okay. It's just this one. Let's I don't think you can take these apart, to be fair, Mike. They're like a potted. They're not removable. they're potted, but if I get underneath the camera, you'll see. Yeah, can you see it's it looks like it's potted. I mean, I might be able to break it off with some pliers. That's the make of it. It's not focused on that area, is it really? So it's a G5Q1EU. G5Q1EU. I've got that light too bright now. Let's turn it down a bit. So it's 24 volt coil, and they're rated at 10 amps at 250 volts. The contacts 5 amps at 30 volts DC. Did you just say 15 ohms? I might have done jacks, you never know. You just never know. Draw a small hole and squirt in some deoxit. Trouble that would go all over the coil as well, wouldn't it, really? Like I say, do you think it would have been the generator that's burnt the contacts in it? So say they are listed on RS, I think, and FAR now, but no one's got any in stock, and they're not available until July, I think, on some of them. Yeah, I mean, I wonder if I can get the scalpel down. I've got to be a bit conscious of the time because I'm 10 past 4 now. And I haven't done the dishes. So you know what happens if I haven't done the dishes? I'll be in trouble. I wonder if I can get the top off with a scalpel. But say, these aren't designed to be opened. And some of the old ones with plastic covers, you could get them open, couldn't you? Let's zoom out a little bit and I'll see if I can get that off. Be careful I don't cut my finger off here. No. It could be that only the normally open contact is used, in which case the problem is elsewhere. I suspect the problem is elsewhere, but definitely that's not right, is it? That should be different than that. I mean, there is another one on the board exactly the same. I could take this one off and see what this one's doing, or try it in circuit. So we could try it in circuit because it's exactly the same one. Let me just screw this this inductor, this transformer down here a minute. It's going to wreck it in a minute. It's easier to get it out to try it really, because I don't want to be putting voltage on the board, so I'll need to desolder that a minute. Let's just fire up the desoldering tool. Still got my coffee left. I just wonder, Nick, if I burnt them by sort of arcing the Jenny by plugging the plug in manually with the power switched on. I mean, there must be another brand that does the same, 24 volt with that pin out. Surely it doesn't have to be an Omron. It doesn't have to be a Ron or Omron. Surely. I'm going to get the razor saw and cut this open while we're waiting for the desoldering tool to heat up a minute. I need to shut the back door as well, because Mrs. Cruncher's on her way home. The chickens are looking at me. So I'll tell you what I will do. I'll just put some porridge out for the chickens while I'm here, because they won't be very happy if they've not had their tea. So I'm going to do the chickens' food live. It's a shame we haven't got an outdoor camera, isn't it, really? You could come and join me while feeding the chickens. So all we do with the chickens, we give them a bit of porridge before it gets dark. Mrs. Cruncher says it pumps them up. Gives them a full tummy to go to sleep on. That's her thought. So I had better do this, because it's not fair on the chickens to go live streaming and them to miss out. The dogs can go out for a bit of a run later, but the chickens are impatiently waiting or patiently waiting, should I say, by the back gate. Their house collapsed as well. I meant to tell you that. The inside of the chicken house, it got a real hammer in the chicken house. It's right out in the field, and their sort of the main inside of their coop fell down. So I had to get out there with this Mrs. Cruncher taking me a hand to put it all back together again. I had to put some screws in it and all sorts. It was a bit of a shame. I managed to catch one of them by the neck as well, which wasn't good. But she's okay. Right, so let's just go and give them their food a minute. Keep them happy. Hello, girls. Yeah, where's the rest of you? Why is there only 4 of you? Oh, they come. Here they come. Come on. There you go. They'll close their little hatch over. Grab any eggs. Oh, we got. That's okay. It's not bad. Eight chickens, 3 eggs. Oh, we've got a late run of this snowy. Free eggs. Free eggs, look. Ooh. Come on then, in you go. Let's get you indoors. Otherwise you'll end up underneath Mummy's car wheels. Coco, in. Come on. Coco, in. Come on. Coco, in. Get in there. Oh. You're sort of obedient, Coco, aren't you? Yes, Maddie. All right, Dad'll give you a treat. God, dear. They eat me out of house and home, these two. There you go then. Let's have a treat. There you are. Here you go, Coco. Good boy. Go on then. Go and have a sleep. Right, that's the eggs. Let's wash my hands. Right, what did I actually leave the room for? I was going to get something, wasn't I? I've totally forgotten what it was now. I've forgotten what I left the room to get. Oh yes, my razor saw. Razor saw. Razor saw. I knew there was something. Oh, there's Mrs. Cruncher now. That was good timing, wasn't it? That was good timing. Right. Oh, a live chicken feeding, look. It's a couple years old though, Jax. Not very much. Right. Are you still with me, everyone? I'm back. As you can hear, Mrs. Cruncher's home. Dogs are going mental. It's the highlight of their day. Right, I'm just going to cut this off. As careful as I can. Oh, I should have shut them in the lounge, really. A little bit further. I'll try not to cut into anything inside, that's the key. Well, it's definitely through there. You right, Car? Yeah. I've just fed the girls. Yeah. Okay, let's cut this side as well. Okay, I need to be a little bit more aggressive maybe. I'm trying not to kill it. You like them scrambled? Scrambled chickens. Definitely in there. He won't come out, will he? She's coming. He's a coming. Yeah, I think the coil's got its own separate little compartment, I think. Oh, where did that go to? We're in. We're in. So. Okay, well, typical, the contacts are actually over the other side, aren't they? That's quite neatly cut off though, isn't it? So the contacts are in the back there, you can't really see them because of the light. If I get the light in a bit closer, you might be able to see them a bit better. Yeah, there you are. So the contacts are actually over the other side. It's typical, and it's a 50-50 chance. But they're actually over the other side of the unit, so... Just trying to see how it switches, really. Need a little screwdriver. So if I cut the lid itself off, I can probably get in there. Thing is, that's pivoting on the lid. Okay, I can see how it works now. So basically that magnetizes downwards, breaks the contact and pushes it over the other side. So we can demonstrate that on the power supply, can't we? Being that it still should work, shouldn't it? Let's zoom out a little bit because we are a bit closer. So hopefully it won't fly out. Where are you? Where are you? There you go. There you are. So if I touch that. Okay. I don't know where the top pinged off to, but the only way I can clean that is to get get that apart. I don't, can I don't know if this actual top is touching that or not. I wonder if I can cut it off now. Now I've gone part way with it. I might be able to cut it all away. Yeah. Give him a squirt. I'm just going to see if I can... I was just thinking of getting some isopropyl in there, really. See if I can cut. I can cut down both sides. I wonder if I can break the seal, because it looks like that might... Be careful, because it's going to ping all the contacts everywhere else. Ow! Oh, stuck out my finger. Right, okay. I'm in. Now, where did that piece come off of? I think that was down here somewhere. That must have been holding that up there. Okay, so the actuator bit I've broken off. Well, not broken it off, it's just come unclipped, so that must... So you can see some burning inside there. Look, if I hold that up, can you see that in the corner there? So you can see where the contacts have burnt there, look. Just got to work out how this little piece works. So it must sit... Where's my tweezers? Everything needs tweezers these days, doesn't it? What's going on with the world? Okay, so it looks like that sits in there. Maybe it sits that way around, perhaps. Oh, well. So the contacts that are burnt do look quite bad, actually. It's this back one that's burnt here. It's this rear one here that's burnt. This one. But that seems to be making good contact. It's this one here that's the normally closed one that's not making great contact. What I'll do then is I'll just get a bit of... I don't know, why are we messing around with this, by the way? I'm just going to get a bit of paper. No, we won't make... Just going to get a bit of paper. and stick, you think contact cleaner or isopropyl? We'll stick some contact cleaner on it. Got a bit of a bent nozzle in it. Bent nozzle situation going on. It's a nice source of some magnet wire though, isn't it? So I'm just trying to see how this thing here works. It's got to sit in there. I think it sits in that way. Yeah, that's it. Okay. Right, got it now. But yeah, the ones that are carbonated are the ones that are okay. Between that and that terminal, these two are the ones that are playing up. So I've got the pivot back in anyway. Let's just focus that. So yeah, that little pivot goes in just there. And that just keeps this top piece. So then as that's energized, it's moving the contacts from one to the other, look. But it's these first two, the normally closed, that are that's got the rubbish resistance. WD-40 for stuck together. I've never really messed with relays. I've always replaced them. I've only ever replaced them. I've not really messed with trying to repair them. The plating will have burnt off. There must have been some arcing to do that. See, the normally closed ones look fine. Let's have a quick look to see what the resistance is now then. Let me just null out the leads first. If it'll let me do that. Okay, so let's try that one there. So this should be dead short. Hey, it's open now according to that. My little pivot things come out again. That's better, isn't it? That is better, 0.13, but the little pivot things come out. The little pivoty thingy-me-jig. Let's try that again then with the pivot back in. Oh, this probe situation is not great. Let's just get a hook lead on there. Let's get a clip lead on there. Right, that's better, isn't it? We've certainly cured that. Your guess is the plating would have burnt off? Something I need to null that out again actually because I've got a longer lead on there, so let's just null that out again. Still not a dead short, is it? But let's give it some more stick. I mean, the contacts on this normally closed don't look at all burnt. They look brand new. It's the other side that looked a bit burnt. They're normally open. Yeah, they are pretty black. Let's try that one more time. Might be some paper fibres in there. Let's give it a squirt of, give it a little drop of switch cleaner. Just let that settle in a minute. You meant chickens, not relay contacts. WD-40 is very bad for contacts. Right, okay. Got you, Jax. So let's just run that back through to just dry it. That's a lot better, isn't it? I mean, it was 40 ohms before, it's 0.1 of an ohm now, so I mean, I'm happy with that. So the other side's open. If we connect the power supply back to it, it should. Two ohms now, that's worse, that one. That one's worse. No, that's better, 0.1. So they're about the same now, aren't they? Hey Robert, how you doing, mate? Thanks Robert. How you keeping, mate? So if we take it off, that's broken, so we should now have our contact back there. And we touch that. Okay, so we've cleaned that relay. I wonder if would that have been causing the problem? I mean, it was hunting, it was trying to switch over, you know, and it kept dropping back. Could it be that I've just spent 155 quid where all I needed was a relay for £1? But I'd have had to wait for a relay. Oh, damn the blimmin' thing. This is a pain, this little pivot. Alright, so I'm going to have to put it back over that way. So I can glue that back together if I can find where that bit's pinged off to. Is that it back there? Yeah, there it is. So I can probably glue that back together. Potentially. Mike! Thank you very much, Mike. It keeps pinging my phone. I don't know what that is. So yeah, I found the little bit that I cut off. So yeah, potentially that will glue back together quite easily, actually, because I've only used the razor saw on it, so I've not gone maze on it. So yeah, there, look. One repaired relay. What do you think? Should we get the other one out a minute and just have a quick look? Or should we? I've got other bits to look at yet, so I don't want to be on here too long because I can sort of get away with it now Mrs. Cruncher's actually home. Okay. I've got the desoldering tool fired up, so let me get this other relay here out. Let me get this one out. Alan, how you doing? The coffee machine's done. Oh, we were in and out of that one, no problem. That one's done. Mrs. Cruncher's coffee machine is sorted. We're now on the boiler control box. Come on, always one, isn't there? Right. Let's turn that off. So, that's the other relay out. Radio Old Song 01. Welcome, mate. Welcome, welcome. Let's get in a little bit closer. So we're messing about with the relays on this. This is an oil boiler control box, basically. But we've had a look at one relay which had contacts which were rubbish. So let's have a look at this one. Let's just see what this one's doing. So what's that? So we're still nulled out. So if we go between that one there. And that one there, we're looking for very low resistance. Okay, that one's okay there. Let's measure the other one and stick some power across it. Let's see what that does. Oh, it's not nulled out now, is it? Just null it back out again a minute. So we're now going across the other two, which should make contact when I touch this. Yeah, that one's fine. That one's fine. Let's just double check that other one again. In fact, that's better than the other one, isn't it? Yeah, see, the other one was 0.1. This one is absolutely... .01, so yeah. Anthony, good afternoon, mate. You didn't get a notification. Apologies. It's one of those things. I mean, it's I wasn't expecting a massive audience today because people are working. So that relay is okay, but maybe this other one ought to be changed. But is that all that's the problem? Because it isn't easy to get this in and out of the boiler. It's not easy at all. So there we are. I think that's enough relayage for today. So I did say about looking at the Pro80 that I fixed and the oh, bit hot now. Daniel's off. Catch you soon, Daniel. Off to work. Finishing work now. So let me have a think here. Let's get my camera because it's getting a bit darker now. No, other way. Let's brighten that up a little bit. So let's get back to my pictures then, and we'll have a look at firstly the VHF Skymaster. So you should be on my screen, just make sure you are. Yes, you are. Let's go to... No, oh, okay, yeah, full scale. Right, so... This is the VHF Skymaster that I fixed. At the very sort of, whatever you call that, Now this has actually gone back to Steve now, Mr. Multi-Towers. Parcel Force have collected this today. It had the OC44 shoehorned in as the oscillator, which was wrong, and it wasn't working. These are just some stock photos that I've taken just to, as a video, we don't want to play a video. So that's one of the ones I've changed, AF116, that's the other one I've changed. Both of those have been done. Okay. This is just stock photos of me Right, so can you remember the aerial problem we had? Steve's aerial was snapped off, so I've dug my little tiny tap and die set out. Now this is my aerial. It was. It's Steve's now, and I've taken this this top off of an old Roberts aerial, because you can see that's threaded there. That's threaded, but I couldn't get the top off of this one. So I stuck a thread on the top of it, look. So this is in my little vise, which is over the other side of the room there. And I think it was 2.2, M2.2 was the thread I used. I don't think I've got the actual... Yeah, it was M2.2. Which I think it was that one. I might be wrong. So it's M2.2 that I used to thread that on. Just about to see it there, look, M2.2. And there's the top screwed onto it. So I managed to sort the aerial out for Steve. I did say to Steve there were some screws missing there. All of these screws on the top here were missing. So someone had been in here before and taken these off and not bothered to put them on, because I take it they couldn't fix it. These were already in the set. I've just used some different ones where I've taken these from. Now when I put it all back together and gave it a final test, lo and behold, I had a short. Every time I put it back in the case, I had a short. When I took the chassis back out again, the short cleared. And what was happening, you can see there's some rubbing on this transistor. This is an OC81. What was happening, the speaker was pushing at this to one side and it was shorting these contacts here out. I mean, this has been butchered by somebody's been in there and had a good old play. I also had to resolder this one because you can see there's a bit of corrosion on the leads, and one of these leads had totally lifted. So I had to do that as well. This is that transistor out with its curly legs. And there it is, put back in properly. So it's now sat up nice and upright. And just for good measure, I actually put some Kapton tape around the back of the speaker magnet. And there's the aerial, my new aerial top. And this is a quick clip. VHF Skymaster. Got it on an airbag. Level 310 diagram B, press 125965, section 8, hotel. Whoa. So I've got the telescopic aerial up. And that's the dogs coming out to see what's going on. So this was a video I released on Patreon. Quick it's making data noises. Okay, another one there. So I'm outside just with a telescopic aerial here. Again, I think this is Exeter approach now, about 119.
Unable 39 from just 890 there.
Bloody hell. That was loud. You can see that's working. Bit of hairband action at long last.
Somebody from 890 there, yeah.
Let's turn that down a bit. So we've obviously got some exit there, I think. That's really loud. Something will happen again now, is it? Typical. I think that's Exeter Tower actually. So I'm just out in the back garden here at the moment. No fancy animals, just on the telescopic.
35 is fine, I was just trying to help with 37.
So we've got tone. Bit of argy-bargy going on there. Just trying to help. Bit of argy-bargy going on there with the sound of it. Oh yeah. I'm repeating myself. Anyway, that was it. All back together. As I say, when we were testing it out, I just could not get any airband on it at all, could I, if you remember? No airband whatsoever. So the next one was the Pro80. Now this one certainly was a bit of a challenge, this one. So if we go to a slideshow for this, I can still zoom in. So this is the radio as it came in. That's the serial number. Just some stock photos. Now I've cleaned all this with vinegar, so that's all been done. And if you notice, that threw me because I got this radio back together, and it still wasn't working. And it was this blob of blue battery alkaline that stopped it working. So I was a bit concerned. It's got a weird little capacitor. There's a bit of an afterthought really that's gone across onto the negative lead from the negative of the chassis. Just a bit of decoupling, I suppose. But so here's the original board before I recapped it. It's got all the old electrolytics on it, and I think I've got some pictures of some close-ups of it. But the key element is this little monster here. T11, and can you see there's a load of brown muck all around it? So what happened is these caps that are surrounding this leaked electrolyte in underneath this transformer, which is the AM detector, it says, but it's basically a 455 kilohertz IF transformer. You can see the state of the caps. I mean, they're really corroded, really bad. So some close-ups of the corrosion on the board. That's that weird little capacitor, look, just touching the ground here to the ground. Just some stock photos for me so I know what I'm up to. There's the other side of the board. I also had some problems down in this area when I got it back together. There's another connector in underneath here that you can see these wires here coming onto. Can't see it here because this leads over the top of it. But one of the pins on it was disconnected one side of the board, which took me a fair while to find. So these are just shots really, so I know what's what with it, where all the wires go. So again, you can see one of these here. I'm not sure which one it was, but one of these, you can see I've taken the connector out because you cannot get hot air anywhere near this. You can't even get the soldering iron in with these connectors in. So these have got to come out. But one of these is corroded away, and it might have been this one. It was the ground connection. So yeah, it was this one was was not making contact on this side of the board. It was on the other side, but it wasn't coming up on this side of the board. So yeah, really, really badly corroded. So you've got to get these done. If you've got one of these Pro80s, it's gonna need doing quick before it absolutely kills the radio and makes it totally dead. I mean, there's corrosion on all of these. You can see all up here. Look, I had to take this inductor off in behind because of the corrosion that had got into the solder there. Look. So that had to come off. I had to clean the pads and resolder that on. You can see it's a hell of a state. Real bad mess. So this is the caps off now, look, and can you see what it's done to the board? All of this has been eaten away. All of the solder mask has been eaten. Luckily, the copper was still there, but yeah, a real mess. So, as I say, this is quite small. This is blown up quite a lot. You see the other side there. So I put fresh solder mask on this now. And up there. And I put tantalums. Now the owner actually supplied the caps for this. He bought a kit online, and it was a good kit actually. All the tantalums fitted spot on. There was a new LED that went in on it. So without putting fresh solder mask on, the solder would have just run all over this. It would have looked horrible. So it looks quite good now. There's all the new tantalums, new electrolytics gone in there. And this is me just masking off the plastic areas while I was going in with a hot air to take these off. So this is T11. This is the one that caused all the problems. So that's the new LED installed. It's a lot brighter as well, that one. Yeah, oh yeah, we had a loose antenna connector, so I put thread lock on that. See my new thread lock on there. This is when I put it all back together, really, and it didn't work. It didn't work twice. So here's the board all populated with all the new caps. And there's T11, the original T11. And, oh, I skipped a couple. So it was on the 150, I had absolutely no hiss whatsoever. And I took it out, and you can just about see the wires on it. And I think that was the only one that was connected still. This one's broken here. And there was one of them was actually broken inside. That's it underneath the microscope there. So you can see that one's completely gone there, eaten away. That one is as well, completely eaten away. And that one, look. So the only ones that were remaining was this, which is the center tap, which isn't actually used, and this connection here. But one of these was actually gone in the coil itself. These are shot. I really need a decent microscope with a camera actually on it. This is shot with my phone through the lens of the microscope. So I got so many there because I needed to work out how to wind it, because I've actually took the windings off of that. So here is my replacement. Now it's bigger because this is the original size. This has got a slightly bigger footprint, so I had to drill the board to fit it in. So if I go back to There we go. Yeah, so those two holes there are the ground connections that hold the shield over the top of the coil. So obviously sucked the solder out of those, but I had to drill them out to 1mm to fit the new one, because basically it wouldn't go in at all. It was just too big. So I got it all back together. There's some videos that went out on Patreon. And this was very kindly sent in by one of my viewers. It's an FX101, and I took this transformer out, T1. You can see it's quite a lot bigger holes. It's a slightly bigger footprint, but the actual pins lined up. It was just the cam that didn't line up. So if we go to this video, there you go. It's now this is on 20 meters amateur bands. It actually works very, very well now. But this was actually during that storm I recorded this.
This is a special call for the Antarctic Activity Week. Call Del 5 America Whiskey, and the WAP number is 342.
So try and radio 4. I've got to put it on wide AM.
I hope that will go there. And the other thing we need to do during the summer is that we regularly get the nomadic scallop fleet coming into our area, and they cause mayhem amongst the local.
So there you are. There you are, all working. See if I can get this screen back now. That was a hell of a job, to be fair. That I tried repairing that coil. I spent hours and hours trying to repair that, unwinding little bits, soldering bits on, and it was all under a microscope as well. It was all under the microscope, so it was an absolute nightmare. Mike, thank you very much, mate. Look after Mrs. Demon. Catch you soon, mate. Thanks, Mike. I got the transformer from a Sony Walkman that was very kindly sent in to me. In fact, I bought one. I bought one on instruction from the owner, and somebody gave me one. But this is the one that was used. Now let me just get the name of the chap that sent it in, because he is one of my viewers. He watched the video and said, "I've got one of those. I'll send it to you." I'm sure you probably remember it from not last Sunday's, Sunday before. It was Lawrence Ruddick. It was, there he is. You're hiding away, Lawrence. This was sent in by Lawrence, and Lawrence, that is actually your Walkman board inside working. Not your board, the transformer. Sorry, I'm losing all track, am I? So yeah, that's what it came out of. Chris, how you doing, mate? Welcome. Thank you very much for the super chats and the tips through PayPal as well. Much appreciated. So yeah, that's a Sony, and it's a WM-FX101, and it was the guys on the Vintage Radio forum that that pointed me towards this. So it's thanks to them, really. It's combined effort from everybody. But yeah, it's just a very basic one of the newer Walkmans that weren't very well made, with an analog tuner, but I saved that other radio from the scrap bin, really, because without it wasn't working. So I've got some more repairs just come in, so I'm just going to quickly show you those. I'm not going to fire them up or anything because neither of them are working apparently. Well, actually one is working, I tell a lie. This one here has come in from the US of A. Let me just, that's that one, that's nothing to do with it. So this is in from Harvey, who is in Simi Valley, California. Is that right? And he has sent me in one of these to recap. And I released a video over the Christmas period of recapping one of these with tantalums. So I've got this one to do. It's an ICF SW7600. Is that going to focus? Or are you going to focus? Too close. Yeah, ICF SW7600. And it's in quite good nick, actually. It's even got the original World Band receiver sticker on it, which I haven't seen before. And it is actually working, but it sort of fizzles out. So that's classic FM. It's very poor, isn't it, that? Where's my volume? So you can hear it, it's just fizz. It's the capacitors are knackered in it. Let's try AM 198. It's almost like it's got an intermittent connection on it, but so yeah, that one's absolutely shot and needs recapping. So Harvey, if you're watching, that will be done. I might make a start on that one tomorrow. I'll see how I go. If you're on Patreon, you'll see what's going on. Ambit. Now this is coming from Wirral in Merseyside now. I haven't even unpacked this one yet, but it is one of my favourite radios. And it's another Sony. This box actually smells rather nice. It's got a bit of perfume or something on it. It's the nicest smelling box I've ever had. So yeah, ICF SW77, and I did one of these for Mr. Robert Cross as a Christmas present, which he's now got back, and it's working very, very well. I don't know, have we got any batteries in this? No, there's no batteries in it. I can't remember 100% the story on this one. He's just asked if I can get it working for him. So let's quickly get a power supply and plug it in and see what happens. I've got a Sony. Is that my 6 volt? Yeah, there we go. So let's plug it in with the generic Sony. Not generic, the Sony power supply. Let's pop the power on it. And and see if it'll turn on with the displays on. Okay, no reception on AM, so we should have radio 4 there. And there's nothing, so let's try FM 100. Absolutely nothing. Doesn't sound good, does it? Yeah. So, again, capacitors. Now, which version is this? This is the... Yeah, this is the older one. There's different types of these radios, and the one, if you're going to buy one of these, you really want to try and get the newer one, because it's a bit better built. And you can tell the difference because of the number of sections of the aerial. The number of aerial sections, and this end section is really, really, really thin and bendy on the newer ones. So this is one of the older ones. I think there's difference. One's got 10 sections and the one's got 12. So this has got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this has got 9 sections. I think the other ones have got 11. The newer ones. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 9 sections. I think the newer ones have got 11. Serial number on this one is 910982. So there you go. Another one for repair. So that's my 2 repairs that are in at the moment. I've got Jeff's Mini Herald still to do. And the only other thing that I was going to quickly show you was the DAC10. Now, I was going to do this on Sunday stream, but obviously with the storm, it totally wiped me out. So, are you still with me, or are you all disappeared now? I'm not sure what's going on. There's no chat anymore. You're mesmerised, aren't you? So, the DAC10 progresses. You can see I've got the smoothing cap out. I'm going to cut the bottom off of that and restuff it. But I have got the valve bases. All I've done is I've used the Dremel and I've grinded off the top of these. I haven't taken the other screws out. I've not taken any wires off because I was going to do that on the stream. But and the other thing, I've got the pesky asbestos washer done and dusted. That's gone. That's history. So no more asbestos. So that's it, really. That's pretty much how I am. That's where we are. We're up to date. So I'm going to call it a day now. I'm going to go down and say hello to Mrs. Cruncher. And I'm going to be on Sunday, and we're going to be doing the DAC10 on Sunday. Let's see if we can get those valve bases done. Got 5 valve bases to do. If I can get, I might see if I can get a couple done prior to the stream. And hopefully that'll get us up and running and we can start it up. So I hope you've enjoyed that today. Bit of an update on the storm. It's cost an arm and a leg, but we're through it. We've not really got any damage to the house. Bit of flashing up on the roof that needs doing, that's peeled away, but apart from that, all good. So we'll be back on this beastie, on this old DAC10 on Sunday. So tune in, normal time, 2 o'clock, I think. and hopefully we'll get it sorted. You're still there, but you can't think of anything interesting to say. No worries, Jax. Just got to say bye now. So thanks very much, everybody that's tipped there today, and the super chats, much appreciated. And I'll catch you all on Sunday. And oh, thanks. I've got a couple more Patreons as well, but I haven't had a chance with the storms and that to put your names on. So apologies. I think James was one of them, and there was one other. It might be Robert, actually, Robert Head. But thanks very much to my new Patreons, and I will catch you all soon. Stay safe, and let's hope that we've seen the last of these storms. Bye for now.